A lot of times people feel that the spiritual path is just about love and light and just a blind, open heart to everybody and everything. But my experience has been that the spiritual path is about developing discrimination and discernment while understanding the power of boundaries. And that you're not here to be just forgiving and just too much love, but to understand that the spiritual world is about boundaries too.
Can you give an example of boundaries in this context?
Yeah, if someone is projecting their own poison onto you and they can't see it, you need to be a mirror and create boundaries to not be in an abusive type of situation. That's developing discernment. If you're throwing slings and arrows towards me and anger and poison, I can say, with love and respect, to say that your words are abusive or tend to be abusive, and that that is not the highest and best way to communicate. And there's a lot of beauty in practical information on a spiritual path. At one point you're creating a boundary and you're creating a mirror to someone else that their actions are harmful, that their actions are creating disturbance in other people. So part of the spiritual dharma is to reflect that and communicate it in a loving way so that people can start to recognize that their behaviors need to change. So spirituality can be very tough at the same time as being loving. So we're not talking, free reign to just do what you want, but you need to understand that, with God's love comes responsibility.
So if I hear you correctly, it's not just a feel-good, love, light, bliss situation. It's also a...
Yeah, once you evolve on the spiritual path, you also have to understand that there are spiritual laws and spiritual boundaries, and that your actions are responsible. And if you see someone else, acting irresponsible, to some degree you have responsibility to speak out and to communicate your voice. You can't, if you're witnessing, people harming the environment, poisoning our waterways and our earth and our sky, and taking advantage of good people, you need to take a stand. That's called dharma. The dharma is the expression of God's presence to the boundaries of what should and shouldn't happen in the world. If you're harming another human being, if you're harming the environment, if your actions are going to create a negative result, you need to take a position to that effect. Because that's part of the healing process. Part of the healing process is not only healing the past, but also creating boundaries to say, your actions will not create positive vibrations in the world.